The Italian Wine Podcast is the community-driven platform for Italian wine geeks around the world. Support the show by donating at ItalianWinepodcast.com. Donate €5 or more and we'll send you a copy of our latest book, My Italian Grape Geek Journal, absolutely free. To get your free copy of My Italian Grape Geek Journal, click Support Us at ItalianWinepodcast.com or wherever you get your pods. Grazie mille.
Welcome to this special Italian Wine Podcast broadcast. This episode is a recording off Clubhouse, the popular drop-in audio chat. This Clubhouse session was taken from the Wine Business Club and Italian Wine Club. Listen in as wine lovers and experts alike engage in some great conversation on a range of topics in wine. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinepodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. And remember to subscribe and rate our show wherever you tune in.
So hello everyone, welcome to another installment of Clubhouse Ambassadors Corner. So today we've been running the segment for actually around 150th episode. So we've been running this for about 2.5 years for now. And it has been the most followed through show on Italian Wine Podcast by our Italian wine ambassadors and also our Italian wine producers as well. So thank you so much for following our Clubhouse Ambassadors Corner. So for today's installment, we have Mauricio de Chiaro. Did I pronounce that right, Mauricio?
Yes, Peccinini de Chiaro, yes.
Peccinini de Chiaro. I love that. You have a really beautiful Brazilian accent. I really love this.
Yeah.
Today you will be interviewing Fabio Costantino of Terra Costantino. So before I start, I would like to introduce Mauricio to our audience. So he's our recent Italian wine ambassador from New York, just this year, right?
Yes.
So actually, I've read from your bio that you had a 30 plus years career in finance and then you suddenly shift to wine. How did that happen?
Yes, I have a group of friends that we are wine lovers, and we were thinking about creating a club that has a different engagement with the producers, especially focusing on the smaller family-run wineries, right? The still unrecognized ones. So that's where I've been working on recently.
Oh, that's amazing. By any chance, do you know Luis Batistello and also Pablo Fernandez? They're also our ambassadors from Brazil.
Yeah, we scheduled a meeting here with the Brazilian ambassadors, but it still hasn't happened. I just came from Italy, but we are planning some event to meet everybody here.
So, okay, let me continue the introduction for you. So, inspired by the medieval guilds where knowledge was shared among craftsmen and merchants, Maurizio created the Wine Partners, a wine club that bridges the best talent in the industry with more engaged, hands-on wine lovers. This platform empowers small family-owned producers by allowing partners not only to buy direct, but also to have winemaking experiences. So the Wine Partners has chapters in Miami and Sao Paulo. So for Maurizio, Italy offers a perfect mix of highly motivated talent supported by centuries of traditional knowledge. This combined with an openness to new winemaking techniques and a vast variety of native grapes is producing wonderful quality wines in various unique terroirs. So Maurizio has discovered an immense number of smaller wine producers who offer high quality yet unrecognized wines, making Italy the place to be for avid wine lovers. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's really a lot of inspiring wine producer you'll find in Italy, as well as, the number of native grapes that we have here. So I'm kind of curious to ask you, why did you select Fabio Costantino as your favorite producer on your very first Clubhouse Ambassadors Corner?
Yes, I think Fabio is a perfect example of this new generation that is bringing his A game to produce the best quality wine. He has a wine philosophy that I agree, I believe, and I respect, which is like low intervention winemaking, focus on quality. And he has a very inspiring story of learning, arriving in this new world, and working hard to learn and improve the quality of the wine he's making, which is showing in every bottle, right? I believe Fabio and Terra Costantino is one of the gems that we were talking about in Italy. And also, on a funny side note, we both have careers outside of the wine world. So it's kind of a match. Basically, can prove we are living proof that we can be wine lovers and have other talents.
Yeah, quite interesting. Yeah, you came from finance, and now I'm actually looking at Fabio's bio here, and he's a construction engineer. And both of you fell in love with wine, so that's really a nice
Yes.
story in pursuit of wine. That's really nice. So, I'm also curious, how did you discover the wines of Terra Constantino?
Yes. So in my search for these true gems from Italy, I was in Fivi in November, and I met him for the first time. I was really surprised by the quality of his wines. And then we agreed to have a tour in Sicily, where I went just after being appointed wine ambassador and before Vinitaly, right? So I was in Sicily doing the tour in his winery, which is an amazing place. I truly recommend everybody to go there. Um, because a lot is said about Etna, but one can really feel the power of the volcano if you are there, right? I mean, we cannot translate into words. You have to feel it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one because I also went to Sicily with Via Gita Scholastica. Actually, it's also
Uh-huh.
in Etna, and we really drank a lot and ate a lot. Wonderful food, delicious food, and beautiful wines.
So it's a
It's
great
really
place to get lost.
exactly, and the expression of the wines, it's really amazing and different. So since we have our ambassadors here, and also a shout out on our beloved ambassadors, we have Cynthia, Julia, Elena, Olivier, Francesco, Natalie, you Priest is here, and also Giovanna and Andrea. So actually they're very geeky, and we all wanted to know what is the learning objectives that we should be expecting from this interview.
The first idea here is to actually explain to the audience what Etna is really about, what kind of wines we can have from there, and also for the geeky people, learn a bit more about the winemaking techniques from Terra Costantino, what are the tasting notes from the wines and his vineyard, everything that he makes there to bring us this great lineup of wines. So also finally to meet him and learn about his work.
Okay, I really look forward to your conversation. I'm going to mute
Okay.
myself and I give the floor to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Laika. Uh, so I'm gonna start by introducing Fabio. He's born in 1974, so a very young fella. During his university studies as a construction engineer, Fabio fell in love with wine, starting to taste, compare, and understand how a good wine is made. After his study, he joined the family construction company as entrepreneur, but always with a look in the other family business, the farm and winery on Etna volcano, acquired by his father Dino in 1970. In the early 2000s, Fabio started to join his father more and more in the management of the winery. So, hi, Fabio. How are you?
Fine, Mauricio. Everything is okay. Thank you for your introduction.
Yes, and thanks for joining us today. So let's start. Why don't you tell us how have you started with Terra Costantino? What's the story behind it?
Yes, thank you. Well, this is a long story because my father starts when I was born, then 50 years ago, and to manage a vineyard in Via Grande on Etna. Just for fun, not for business. My father loves wine, stay with friends, etc., and looking for something else, not just construction, but also agriculture and something that will be linked by the heart. Then my father starts several years ago to cultivating our family vines on Etna. In 1978, we start to produce wine, and but just for bulk wine, not for selling it or doing business. Just for people that come through the road and buy bulk wine or buy a bottle or a few liters, not big business. In about early 2000, I start to with my father to stay in the vineyard and thinking about bottling. And after several years that we try different, we have just one chance in 1 year that it's the harvest to do something different. Then we start with first bottling in 2005 and 6 and 7, and try every year, try something. Um, in 2013, we decided that working with Luca Dattoma, that it's quite famous enologist in Italy, and we understand that we can do better, and we try to do better our wine, especially for have Etna in the glass, not just produce wine, but we try to have Etna wine essentially.
Very nice. So the bottle I had from 2013 is before Luca.
Yes, there is a time before Luca, a time after Luca.
After Luca, oh, nice. So you mentioned Via Grande, it's close to Catania, right? So explain to us where is the Terra Costantino?
Yes, we are located in the southern east slopes of Etna, very close to Catania area, that it's the main city in the east part of Sicily. And well, first we have to say that we are in Sicily or in Italy, but Etna is very famous in the world because it's a biggest volcano that still work. We have several eruption each year, about also 20 eruption for year. Then is big volcano is so high, is more than 3,300 meters, and we are located in southern east part. Then we are about 7 kilometers by the top of volcano and 7 kilometers by the sea. It's about 500 meters above the sea, and we have 10 hectares in Via Grande. And also some years ago we start with a new project to produce Etna Bianco Superiore in Milo area in Contrada Praino, are 2.5 hectares, and is 100% Caricante. Obviously, Milo is different. It's a different soil from Via Grande. All is volcanic sand, but it's quite different. The soil each others. Then it's really interesting to test the wine, understand how the wine will be Etna style, but have some different inside. It's really interesting. Etna is called a Nord in the Sud or an Iceland in the Iceland because we are in Sicily, but the climate is real different from Sicilian climate. Just to know that, in Sicily they do the harvest in August. We do the harvest on Etna in October, sometimes also in November. Then it's
Wow.
totally different.
Italian Wine Podcast, brought to you by Mama Jumbo Shrimp.
Yeah, and I remember in the Italian Wine Ambassador course, the explanations about also the wind, not only the soil, but the different winds and climates in between the three major regions, like you mentioned. Milo is different from the Blandano Via Grande region, right?
Yes, exactly. We are so close, but so far, because just 6-7 kilometers from Milo to Via Grande, but is more high, is about 600-700 meters above the sea, and the soil is totally different. We have on Etna different contrada. Contrada is not simple to explain what is, but is a small piece of land inside a single village. Then we have more than 100 contrada on Etna, and we work in this moment on three different contrada: Contrada Praino in Milo, and Contrada Blandano and Contrada Cannarozzo in Via Grande. And it's really interesting also for the wind, especially for us in the east part of Etna, because we are very close to the sea. Then we have the breeze that come up from the breeze every day, and we work in organic with not too much problem, really. We are certificated in organic from early 2000, and we are organic from ever. We have a certification from more than 20 years. And it's really interesting for the enologists that to come here on Etna to work, that is so simple work in organic way, because we have a good climate, we have wind, we have sun, we don't have much more rain, then it's not too hard. Obviously, it's not simple, but you have to check every morning your vineyard. Last year that was not good for Prenospora, but we do a normal harvest. We was very lucky.
Nice. And you have some pre-phylloxera vines also. Is it in Blandano or Milo?
Yes, we have some very old vines in Blandano area, because when my father started to manage the vineyard, was old vineyard inside, and he don't touch nothing, just cultivated it, and we preserve it. We have old vines of white Caricante and Cataratto, and red grapes Nerello Mascalese and Nerello Cappuccio, that it's like a heritage for us. It's really interesting to have it and work with this kind of vines.
That's awesome. It's a true treasure to keep those vines. I remember one thing that was amazing in the tour. You were showing the property. So in one side we could see Etna, right? And if you turn like 90, 180 degrees, you could see the sea, right? I don't know if you remember, but Etna was smoking a little more than usual, and I was kind of afraid we had to run somewhere. But I mean, the view, the location is amazing, and that's why I recommend the tour there. It's truly beautiful. That was a little bit more about your wine. So you grow Nerello Mascalese, Cappuccio, Caricante, Catarato, all the major Etna grapes, right? So what kind of wines do you produce?
Yes, I remember when you come that Etna, sometimes ashes from the sky, because Etna is also explosive volcano. Then sometimes we have new soil. It's really interesting, these things, because we can have new soil every year, because ashes from Etna come on our vineyard. It's not good, for the roof, because you have to clean everything for the root. It's a little bit dangerous if you go by motorcycle, etc. But for the agriculture, it's really, really interesting, because we have a new soil, very rich of everything, and we don't need, anything else, really.
Nice.
We have different varieties. We have Caricante for the white, that is, the queen of Etna, of the white grapes, is one of the most important types of cultivation in the world for the white wines. It's really, really interesting. We use also Cataratto, that it's very common in Sicily, and also use Minella for the white grapes. For the red grapes, we have Nerello Mascalese, that it's the king of Etna. There is the 90% of our production comes from Nerello Mascalese. And also we use Nerello Cappuccio that, is like a cousin of Nerello Mascalese. It's more deep in color. It's a little bit different. It's also not simple to manage it because produce too much sometimes, then we have to cut something and trash it because we have the best from our grapes. And from that we produce 7 different kind of wine. That it's the Etna. That the Etna is in all the Latin language means about Etna. It's really interesting because I keep this name from old book written in Latin by Pietro Bembo, that it's a Venetian writer that came here on Etna about 500 years ago and climbing on the moon and write this book like a diary that he sent by his father, and it's really interesting because explain what Etna was and what now is amazing also 500 years ago. And then I love call my name the Etna, that it's our classic line. And we produce also the Contrada line, that it's Contrada Blandano Bianco and Contrada Blandano Rosso Riserva. And also we produce Contrada Praino, that it's Etna Bianco Superiore. And also the last one, that it's the wine of our heart, is Rasola, that it's Vino Ancestrale, that it's made, like in the ancient times. It's the wine that my father produced from ever, and it's really interesting. We produce less than 1,000 bottles each year, just for friends. We sell only in our cellar, and it's really interesting because it's a old wine with made with clean and stay in the bottle for several years without problem, and it's really interesting to test.
Yeah, this one I haven't tasted, so I have to go back.
Yeah, you have to come.
And this is the one that has some Minella in the blend, right? Because Minella for me is a new thing. Can you tell us a little bit more about Minella, the
Yes,
grape?
yes, of course. Minella is really interesting. Is also really a little bit sexy grapes because Minella, the name Minella comes from the Sicilian word minna, that it's a small breast, and
Okay.
because for that is a little bit sexy, and we use very few quantity because we have it. Is also that is a legacy that we have, and we use just 5% in blend with other Caricante and Cataratto. And this is really interesting because sometimes the people ask me what Minella had to the wine, and I say just history, not more else, but just history. And everyone now looking for or indigenous grapes, and Minella is
Right.
really, really indigenous.
Yeah, I think it's an important work that you do by keeping it and somehow using it in a blend, right? I love these different indigenous grapes that you cannot find anywhere else. It's a great experience. That was a bit more about the Riserva, the Blandano Rosso, Contrada Blandano Riserva. What's the difference between this wine and the Etna Rosso? That's not the
Yes,
Riserva one. Yeah, the
yes,
DOC.
yes, yes. Well, it's two different DOC mention. The first things is that because Etna Rosso DOC is is more common on Etna. The most part of the wine that red wine that we produce on Etna is Etna Rosso DOC. Also, there is a few numbers of producer like me, probably less than 10, that produce Etna Rosso Riserva. We produce our Etna Rosso Riserva from old vines. Then we try to have the best grapes from old vines. And this is really interesting because, the old vines produce very, very less quantity. Then every berries is very important. It's really, really interesting to test just the berries. And we store it for one night in cooling room, not too much cool, but also in October in Sicily is a little bit hot. Then
Yes.
we try to cool the grapes. We don't crush the berries, or not all the berries are crushed. And we put for the fermentation in a special tank. We use cement, concrete, probably because I am a construction engineer. Then I love concrete, and is a special shape, is a pyramid. Then we do the vinification in this kind of tank, because we don't need to push down, the skin. From this shape help us to work better and on the wine. Also, we do a maturation of the after fermentation in concrete for 3 months, 5 months, and afterwards we put in a barrels or in tonneau 500 liters for at least 12 months.
Okay.
This is also very important because in Etna DOC law, you have to use at least 12 months. We use not barrique, but barrels. That I prefer not have too much wood in our glass, but I try to fill Etna in the glass. And this is really interesting because we have wedding at least 4 years before release. Now we sell and test 2018. Then is 60 years old wine. It's really interesting to test and understand how Etna will be better year after year.
It's amazing. I found my tasting notes. It brings the red plum. It has like medium body and medium tannins, very balanced with a long finish, a little bit of smoke in the end. It's really good and it's still fresh. I mean, it's amazing. It's completely different experience.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're waiting on Etna, probably you find the better wine, absolutely. And especially 2018 was well balanced. Vintage is not too hot or too rain, is well balanced, and we have a good berries good grapes from that vintage.
Yeah, and I imagine this wine 10 years from now,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
it's gonna go. It's gonna be.
We are waiting for.
Yes. Remember to invite me, okay?
Okay.
So let's talk about the Rosato also, because the Rosato was wow, very fresh. I remember that the nose brings like red fruit, but in the palate it goes more like in the apricot and orange blossom. And coming from Brazil, I think this wine is perfect for the climate here because it's so fresh, so perfect. It's
Yeah. The history, the history behind Rosato is really interesting. I started producing Rosato before Luca D'Attoma comes work with us, because
uh-huh.
I love Rosato. It's a really interesting wine in general. You can use it with anything you want. If you want pizza or appetizers or pasta or meat. You can joke by temperature. If it's cold, it's more like white. If it's room temperature, is more like red. And I try every year to do the best Rosato ever, because We use the same grapes, the same vineyard that we use for the red, for Etna Rosso. Then it's not, sometimes people use young vines or not too much good grapes. We use our best grapes to produce Rosato. And I love Rosato, very clear, like Provence style, but it's a real wine. It's not sweety, it's a little bit salty, very mineral, and it's bitter. And it's really interesting because
Yes, I
sometimes
remember the
people,
saltiness. Yeah.
absolutely, when people come in the cellar to visit us, says, I don't like Rosato, I don't want to testing it. And when they go out, they buy a cask of Rosato, just that. And this is my goal.
Very good. We forgot to mention, how many bottles do you do of the Riserva?
We do very few bottles. We produce 3,000 bottles each year of
Wow.
Reserve. But also Rosato, we produce 6 to 8,000 bottles each year.
Okay. Okay. So the major production is the Etna Rosso, the DOC, not the Riserva one,
Yeah,
right?
yes, absolutely. Etna Rosso and Etna Bianco is our 80% of production.
Okay. Okay. So, what about the white ones? It was really also my tasting notes here. I remember a little bit citrus and herbal notes, maybe going to chamomile. I'm not sure. I'm still learning to control my palate. I'm a
Yeah.
rookie in this business. So tell us about this wine. It's a blend also, right?
Yes, this is a full blend of Caricante and Cataratto. Also, the Contrada Blandano Bianco is like a Riserva. There isn't a Riserva mention on Etna for the white, but
Okay.
we work like Etna Rosso Riserva. Then we release these bottles. Now we work with 2019. Then is 4 or 5 years old at white. It's not common find old vintage of white just released. We store it in the cellar for maturation. It's really interesting because this help us to have, like you say, chamomilla or herbal notes. It's really, really interesting. Etna
Right.
have in general a good acidity. Then also for the white, you can waiting for testing it. Also 10 years and it's still fresh. It's really interesting, but also, it's more complex and really interesting to test it. Also for this wine, we use whole vines. We are very lucky because we have whole vines also of white and
Okay.
is a clean blend of 90% of Caricante and 10% of Cataratto. And the vinification is the domestic grapes. We crush the berries, stay for a few hours in the press with contact skin, and after we put in big barrels of 2,000 liters for 6 8 months. Then
Okay.
you can feel a little bit the wood, but very, very few. And after several years in the bottle, we do the maturation in the bottle. Then we bottling it when the 1 year after the production, and we store it and we waiting for test it. It's really interesting because it's to 100% Contrada Blandano wine, but also is aging in the bottle. Then you have waiting to test it.
Wow. I imagine a few years down the road also. Please invite me, huh?
Yeah.
So, what about you want to explain to us a little bit more about your winemaking philosophy, the techniques you use in the vineyards as well?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I tried, this is very geek, and I try to work to speak about the our philosophy. Essentially, we have to respecting our territory and the countryside. I say that we are not the owner. we are just maintenance our wine. We have to we work too much in organic, but not just for sell the wine. We try to respect our vineyards. It's very important for us, and the people that work with us is work from several times and know our philosophy, and is totally involving in this is really interesting. You come in our vineyard, and I show you that we have it's like a Sicilian garden. It's a mix of different culture. You can find cheers, you can find kiwi, you can find apple, pears, or everything else. Because when my father starts, like in so many places in the world, you have a garden with several kind of fruits. You eat your fruits and you are happy. And
Yeah.
we work in this way. Then it's not just organic. We have a biodiversity, big biodiversity is really interesting because in this way we have the bees that come around in the vineyard, and everything is protected by biodiversity. And for the in the cellar, the interesting things is that story. When look at the Thomas start to work with us, I think that there is a famous enologist that come and work with, and you think that change everything in the cellar, or do you like? I know, but I don't know. But I think that change the things in the cellar. No, he start to change or fix the problems in the vineyard. This is was really interesting for me, because I understand that the people says that the wine is made by the grapes, and it's true. We try to have
Yes.
the best grapes each years. Every vintage is different, and we try to have the best grapes each years for work very very few in the cellar. Just static stabilization. We use very very few chemical inside, just cold for tartaric stabilization. We need times. We don't release young wine. We need
Right.
times to the wine is do his way.
No, very nice. I remember also in between the lines of the vineyard, training is Alberello, right?
Yes.
Which I remember learning it on the course, but actually seeing it in Sicily. But in between the vines, you have like what? You plant what? Is it oat? I don't remember exactly
We
what you saw,
we
like
we
a low.
plant we plant some plant that it's like piselli pears, and it's called the sovescio
Okay,
in Italy, and it's very important. In this way, we don't need fertilizer. We don't need also organic fertilization. We
wow,
use green manure technique. I remember for the soil fertility. It's really interesting, because this is a work for reconstruct the soil if the soil is broken. But our soil is good, then we maintain it, and
right,
this is really really interesting. Also, new plant, reduce CO2, then is also important, not just for fertilization, but also for the climate in general, because the climate change is a big problem, especially for Sicily, that few water, very hot in the summer, and then
right.
we try to work in sustainability at all.
No, that's beautiful. This is like you said, the work starts in the vineyard, and if you don't do that part right, very hard to make a good wine, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Let's maybe try to do a virtual tour with the audience here. I remember it was a very special day we had together there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
you
I
took us in
try,
the vineyard. Yeah. Go.
I try, but it's not simple because I love that place because I born there, and also every people that stay in a place probably is normal have some things, but just few things. Normally, we when we have a tour and the people come to visit us, we do a short walk in the vineyard. It's very important. Explain the vineyard, explain what we do, and in this way, the
Yes.
people can understand that in the vineyard it's not just the harvest. You walk for all year in the vineyard with several people to have a good grapes. Then we will reach in the Palmento. You was there. Palmento is the wholesaler where in the ancient times the people produce wine. Also me stay in Palmento to work when I was young. And the Palmento was is a small building or big building. We have a small one that is designed by Roman Empire. Then we speaking about 2000 years old construction,
It's
and
amazing.
yeah, and still
And
work.
the press is still there, right? I mean, the wood
Yes,
press.
yeah, we have the wood press that it's called the Conso. It's a kind of a press that was designed by Roman Empire. It's really interesting because you can press the grapes without work too much. It's really interesting, and because it's like a nutcrack, you have to come to understand exactly how it works.
Yes.
And sometimes also we do just for fun and for stay for the show. We crush the berries in Palmento because in the ancient times, there was the pistiaturi, that was the people that crushed the berries by the feet, and it's really interesting to also to do that. After we go in our cellar, that is totally Pogean. When I design the cellar, I think about the whole method, the whole design, that the best things for protecting the wine is at a good temperature, and for don't use too much energy, we go down totally underground, and the Poggia cellar is really interesting for the principles of sustainability. And also we are lucky because you can see in the cellar that there is two section, that there is a window with the section of the soil of Etna soil that it's high about 10 meters, and you can see two different layers of lava, and also the roots of the vines that come down and looking for the water. It's really really interesting. I think that
Yes,
you
that
remember
that
that.
that was really amazing to see the levels, the different lava colors, right? And the roots there. It's like 10 meters deep, seeking for water. That was a great idea to show that. Um, and also, I remember you showed us what was that? The donkey trails with the walls.
Yeah. We use yeah, there is different. There is also the donkeys. Really interesting. Really. Yeah, and also at the end also we can test the wine. Then we have our room where you can test our wine. Sometimes we also open some old vintage for understand how Etna works also in several vintages. That is really interesting. We try to have preserve rituals, value, tradition, and our family is all involving in that.
That's nice. That's very nice. It was truly very special. I've been all over the place, and I really enjoyed this tour and the tasting also, of course. Um, You mentioned many things about sustainability. Is there something else? Because I remember you talk about the crops, the garden, the building that you even projected to use less heat or energy, right? Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about? Because I know you take this very seriously.
Yeah, I'm the guardian. I'm not the owner, and I think about my son, my daughter, and I think about my family. But I think also about me. Then, if every single person do something for Earth is the good way. We we
True.
try. I try to explain my concept of sustainability. It is a many variation. Is not easily comprehensible because involves several factors. Is a social, environment, and economic nature. It's not just organic. Because we are certificated in sustainability. There is people that come in our vineyard for 2 days and check everything, and they realize us the certification. And is not this is not the goal. This is just the start, because every day we have to thinking about that. For example, the cellar is totally underground. We reuse the water that we use so much water for clean the tank, for clean the cellar, for do the
Right.
bottling, etc. And we use all this water. In Sicily, we have very few water. Then we don't want release this water, but we try to reuse it. We use also the bottle is very light. It's just 400 grams. Then it's
Okay.
very light, and this help to reduce CO2 emission. Also, the packaging is totally sustainable. We use recycled cartons. Also, we work the people that work with us, because it's very important. Also, these things work. I try to understand if the people are good, if a problem, if there is some in their family, because we have to looking for all the village, all the people that are around us. It's not just Terra Costantino and Etna, and the goal is sell wine.
Right.
The goal is that everyone will be grow with the wine.
Very good. So it's not only organic. Organic is a portion of it, and then you have to think about all these other aspects. Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
So we all heard about the Disciplinare bringing new rules for Etna, the OCG in the near future. So how do you see this opportunity? Are you excited about it? How long do you think it's gonna take to implement this?
Yes, I'm really excited because everyone speaking about Etna wines, that it's really interesting wine, is grow up
Uh-huh.
and is very good, etc. Then in Italy we have different kind of certification. The best one is DOCG. Then all consortium decided that we have to do that, and nothing changed really for us. Just
Okay.
more works for for bureaucracy, but okay, it's not a problem. We are in Italy. We know the problem, but it's really interesting for the vision of Etna. Etna have to be a gem. It's not just the production of wine or something else. It
Right.
must be a gem. And then DOC is the gem of certification in Italy, and we need to have it. I believe that we will take about 2 years for have it, because
Okay.
there is bureaucracy. You have to sing and minister and etc. but the first step is made, and we have it.
Very good. Very excited about it too. Okay, Fabio. So I think from my side, I'm very happy that we had this opportunity to learn more about Etna, about your story, about Terra Costantino. Is there anything you want to add?
Well, yes, I wanna had a special mention for all the people for my family that work with us, like my father Dino, my wife Gabriella, and also my daughter and my son Davide and Elena, because it's a totally involving work. Then we work 7 days for week, and it's not simple sometimes, but I am helped by my family, and my family work with me, and it's totally involving. It's really interesting, and I help, and also I to say thank you to Salvo Spampinato that work with us from several years, and Francesco, Angelica, Giuliano, and all other the people that work with us from several years, and try to do the best for Terra Costantino.
Beautiful, beautiful. Indeed, a wine is something that is a collective work. It's not a one-person work, but a team, right?
No,
Um,
absolutely. I just speak English better than other, but I'm just a small piece of Terra Costantino.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Fabio. Thank you. Laika, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Okay, so we have some time. So I just want to call if any people from the audience have any question for Fabio. You can raise your hand so we can put you up on stage, or you can write here in the room chat. Okay, let's wait a bit of time. So, and if they're shy today, then you can write us at info@italianwinepodcast.com, and we'll let you know as well when the pod is also up. Yeah, so in the meantime, I want to also ask a question. So, how will our visitors, our listeners actually, if they want to visit your winery, how can they reach you?
Well, it is really simple because we are open all year, 7 by 7, and you have just
Mm-hmm.
to looking for terracostantino.it in on website, and you can book it. You can book in their experience. There is three different experience. The simple one, just drink wine, to do a lunch in the cellar and test several wine and stay with us for a couple or more hour. And like Mauricio says, we try not just to explain about Terra Costantino. We try to uh, educate the people about wine, about sustainability, about Etna. Then we try to do that, and the people that come says that we are in a good way for that.
Right. So I'm sure that by August there's going to be a lot of tourists coming over and visiting your winery. So, from which countries would be the majority of the visitors coming from?
The most part of people that come to visit us is from US,
Mm-hmm.
but also from UK or Europe. But the most part really come from US, especially, there is the wine lover that test our wine or looking for Etna tours, and we try to explain what Etna is.
Yeah, yeah. As well as I also heard about this White Lotus series that came up. That actually, I'm not sure, but did it really like help out in terms of the tourism to
Yes,
Etna?
yes, yes, it's
Mm.
good. We have Commissario Montalbano several years ago that is really interesting series. Now there is White Lotus also, and this help us to explain to many people Sicily in the world, Etna in the world, And also, I think that here on Etna and Sicily, but in Sicily in general, the things are changing. We understand that the tourism is not just one thing. We try to do a good hotellerie, a good restaurant, good winery. We try to clean our road. We try to have a good level of hospitality in all degrees. Then is really interesting to visit Sicily in this moment. You never come here like?
I went there for the
Oh wow.
Taormina event. Yeah,
Oh.
just very quickly. But yeah, I missed out too. So I would love to visit again at some point. Your winery.
Then I'm waiting for you.
Yes, thank you so much, Fabio. Yes, instead of a virtual tour, I can now visit your winery.
I'm booking for you then.
Okay. All right. Wonderful story. It's a beautiful, inspiring story, as well as your family as well, working together for one purpose for Terra Costantino. So thank you so much for your time, Fabio and Maurizio. It's a great conversation. So that's it for now for today. Goodbye, everyone. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Have a nice day. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.